here we are with my list of the top 10 games of 2010. Now, I know there's going to be a lot of backlash and nerd rage from those of you who don't agree with me, so I want to address that and first tell you how I came to select these games. First of all, I don't care about my own reviews, I don't care about anyone else's reviews, I don't care how well the game sold or how popular they were, I don't care if I got the game for free or not, nor how much the game costs and how much gameplay you get for your dollar. It comes down to entirely how fun the game was for me and only me, and whether or not I even played the game. So games like Red Dead Redemption, which I did not play, will not be included in the top 10. So with that, let's check them out. Coming in at number 10 is Super Mario Galaxy 2. Mario is back with everything that was great with Super Mario Galaxy, just with some additional levels, a few new features, and of course, a good old lovable Yoshi. The gameplay is extremely challenging at times, especially near the end, and just as equally entertaining. To me, this is probably the best Mario game ever made. The cartoony graphics epitomize what I believe all Wii games need to look like, and the soundtrack is lighthearted and just fun. Super Mario Galaxy 2 is an all-around good time, and for me, one of the few games that I actually enjoy on the Wii. The game should take you around 24 hours to complete and is still selling for a full $50, but hell, it's worth it. Coming in at number 9 is Call of Duty Black Ops. Ouch! Guess I'm not a Call of Duty fanboy after all. Regardless, this is simply a wonderful first-person shooter all around. Following the adventures of Special Forces operative Alex Mason in the 60s, you're put through a pretty crazy, confusing, yet fulfilling campaign adventure once all the pieces come together in the end. Bringing back the Zombies mode from World at War has certainly entertained many fans, and the extensive multiplayer has kept me entertained still to this day. Call of Duty Black Ops is just a fun shooter to get together with your friends online, have some stiff competition, and a great time while you're at it. The campaign should take you around 7 hours to complete with unlimited hours of great multiplayer action afterwards that should set you back a full $60. Coming in at number 8 is Halo Reach. In a prequel to the remaining Halo titles, Reach has you following the members of the Noble Squad, a roughneck bunch of Spartans on planet Reach, as they try to prevent the massacre that's about to ensue. The campaign is really touching and simply tells a heartfelt story. Bringing back 4-player co-op spices things up and keeps the campaign fresh as you run it multiple times, and the extensive add-ons to the firefight mode alone are enough to occupy any gamer for hours, let alone the expanded Forge mode and of course the wonderfully addicting online multiplayer mode with such a wide variety of game types. The beautiful graphics took a step up over the previous titles, and the soundtrack ranks in as one of the best of all time. While at the time of my review I did say this was not a contender for Game of the Year, it certainly still qualifies for the top 10. Reach's 7-hour campaign and unlimited multiplayer will set you back a full $60. Number 7 brings us Castlevania Lords of Shadow. Making the transition to the 3D world properly, Lords of Shadow reboots the Castlevania franchise with an entirely new storyline and an entirely new style of gameplay, making references to the mechanics from titles such as God of War, Prince of Persia, and Shadow of the Colossus. But that certainly did not prevent me from enjoying every second of this bastard. Gabriel Belmont, a member of the Order of Light, recently discovered his wife was mysteriously murdered. On top of that, the 3 Lords of Shadow have severed humanity's ties with God himself. So Gabriel takes it upon himself to put an end to this madness and potentially resurrect his wife from the grave. The ending of the game was so epic that I made an entire video simply discussing it. Plus the graphics are easily some of the most stunningly beautiful I've ever seen, and the soundtrack complements them perfectly. For a full $60 still, this 15-hour adventure is easily worth the money because it's damn fun. Coming in at number 6, we have the series that many consider to be the staple of the hack and slash genre, in which many other games rip off its mechanics, God of War III. Kratos is back and out for revenge against the gods and goddesses that destroyed his life, and boy does he cause some death and destruction along the way. The smooth, fluid gameplay and transition between the wide variety of weapons is seamless, giving you natural and what seems like an unlimited number of combos. To the novice, this title may come off as somewhat challenging, but man is it fun to play. The graphics are absolutely stunning, and the soundtrack by the San Francisco Symphony Orchestra really draws you in and won't let you go. The 12-hour campaign can actually be picked up for a mere $30 now, so if you own a PlayStation 3, you should probably own God of War 3. Number 5 brings us a title that I feel was heavily overlooked this spring due to it being released the same day as Red Dead Redemption. Prince of Persia: The Forgotten Sands is simply fun to play, and it really makes you feel like a badass as you platform your way all the way to the dramatic ending. The prince is back, this time in a story set between the Sands of Time and the Warrior Within, where he returns to his homeland only to find his family's castle under siege, forcing his brother Malik to release the undead army of Solomon, which in turn destroy everything in sight. Ubisoft went back to their roots, bringing back truly remarkable and extremely entertaining platforming, this time with the use of several magical powers to control various elements that really take precision timing and mashing of every button on the controller to land safely. While some of the platforming near the end of the game is rather challenging, this is the type of difficulty I really enjoy. The brilliant graphics and impressive soundtrack round out the entertaining story and gameplay, making this a simply great game, worthy of any gamer's purchase. The campaign should take you roughly 8 hours to complete, and the game may be picked up now for a mere $20. Coming in a strong number 4 is Assassin's Creed Brotherhood. I feel so ashamed of myself for not playing any previous Assassin's Creed games until now, but boy was I surprised when I got into it. Right from the start I was hooked, which inevitably caused me to have to do some research to see what the hell was going on, because this story is crazy. Picking up right where AC2 left off, Desmond and Ezio have to save Rome from the enslavement of the Borgia family, and things get absolutely ridiculous at the end. I'm a sucker for cliffhangers, and this title really exemplifies that. Pretty much everything about this title I enjoyed, including the immersive story, the challenging gameplay, and the top-notch graphics. There are even new Assassin's Guild mechanics that allow Ezio to train and deploy multiple assassins to help him take out his many foes. Ubisoft has really impressed me this year, placing 2 of their titles in my top 5. While Brotherhood will still run you $60, you are certain to get at least 30 hours of captivating gameplay out of it. Number 3, Starcraft II. 11 some odd years in development brings us back into the action 4 years following the start of Brood War, with Jim Raynor drowning his sorrows away with a glass of whiskey, crying about his would-be girlfriend, Gone Zerg Sarah Kerrigan. Of course the Zerg are back, causing shenanigans all over the galaxy, so Raynor builds up an army, vows revenge, and busts a cap all over this bitch. This is the game I know many of you consider Game of the Year, hell, perhaps the best game of all time. I absolutely loved every second I played of this bad boy, especially my hours upon hours of multiplayer, holding my own down in Bronze League, baby. But I still think there were a couple more that were more entertaining than this. You could pick Starcraft II up for $60 and enjoy a 15-hour campaign and unlimited adventures in multiplayer, especially with the ridiculous built-in game-making map editor. But what really is there to say in addition about this? We all know this game is awesome, so let's move on. Coming in at a solid number 2 is Mass Effect 2. This was originally my number 3 pick until I booted it up this past weekend and was instantly reminded of how truly freaking awesome it really is. Just hearing the music while walking around the Normandy, or hell, even the title screen, really brought me back to that uneasy feeling of, oh man, some shit's about to go down. Of course, Shepard is back to save the entire universe, but what makes this game special is that you actually feel like you are taking part in saving the universe. Mass Effect 2 does everything right and really doesn't do anything wrong. The first 5 minutes and last hour are some of the best storytelling I've ever experienced in a game. You really feel terrible at the beginning and feel like you're about to kick some serious ass in the end. This game is so good and absolutely every gamer needs to play this bastard. Clocking in at around 27 hours for completion, Mass Effect 2 can run 360 owners a mere $20 now, and PS3 owners will be able to pick it up for $60 next month. I can just hear all of the backlash and various nerd rage comments already. That's right, my pick for the 2010 Game of the Year goes to Square Enix's long-awaited next entry in their immensely popular RPG series, Final Fantasy XIII. I know how many of you just hate this game, but really, I absolutely loved it. Not only does it feature some of the most exquisite graphics I've ever experienced in any game, the soundtrack was immensely immersive and the story was just delightful. While many complained of how linear the game was, how simplified the combat was, and how completely opposite it was from any other Final Fantasy, I just don't care. Yes, it's linear, yes, it's nothing like the others in the series, but that simply did not stop me from enjoying this masterpiece. I actually cared for all the characters in the game, I wanted to see what was going to happen next, and I loved the Paradigm combat system. Yeah, there's a lot of X button mashing, but you know there's a lot more than that. You can't simply stick with one paradigm and hit auto attack, it just doesn't work. You have to switch those paradigms every couple seconds. If this title was released under any name besides Final Fantasy, I know it would have sold better and it would have been better received by the gaming community. And I'm wise enough to see through the smoke and mirrors. You can pick this baby up for $30 now and should give you easily 50 to 80 hours of exuberant entertainment depending on how involved you want to get with it. So there we go, my top 10 games of 2010. I'm sure many of you will have a lot to say about it, so leave your questions and comments below. Check out the full write-up and screenshots over at ZeitgeistGameReview.com. Stay up to date by following me on Twitter and Facebook, and make sure to check out all of the other great gaming entertainment on the Game Station. Don't forget to subscribe and press the thumbs up button. Thanks for watching.